Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video I'm gonna be going through makeup that is on the chopping block, and I'm gonna try to decide if I want to get rid of these or keep them. So it's gonna be like a little declutter of my collection, a little bit of spring cleaning. So let's get right into the video. So if you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Marley and I love making YouTube videos about makeup and beauty. I love doing looks, swatches, reviews, will I buy it videos, also declutters. So if that sounds good to you, then don't forget to subscribe. I usually upload about 2 to 3 videos a week and I would love to see you again on my channel. So I have some makeup in front of me from all different categories of my collection, and most of these I already mentioned in some of my other videos that I was kind of unsure if I wanted to keep them, and some of these products were already kind of like halfway out of my collection. I didn't really count them anymore, but also I couldn't really get myself to declutter them, and some of these were still very much in my collection, but I feel like maybe it's time to get rid of them. These are all kind of like in a vague zone. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know if they are really part of my collection anymore. I don't really use them. Most of them I don't really use, and I just don't really know what to do with them, and I feel like it's time to decide. So I think I just want to start with the lip products. So these are the lip products that are on the chopping block. These aren't that many. I also don't want to do like a full declutter of a certain category because I feel like it's more fun to then take just everything from the category out and then declutter that. These are just the things that I had in mind after my last declutter, like should I keep them, should I not? So let's just go through. So first up I have this MAC matte lipstick in the shade Pink Plate. This one is pretty old and it's also pretty dry, and I'm not really sure if I love this one. When I wear it, it looks really dry. I do like the color, but it's just getting really old. I've had this for quite a long time and I don't feel like it performs that well anymore. It's just, I love this color, but I don't really love wearing this one. I feel like with the MAC formula, some are really nice, really creamy, quite comfortable to wear, and then some are really drying and I just can't get into them. So this is one of those. Then I have this other MAC lipstick in the shade Velvet Teddy. This one I got in a mini, and I just wanted to try this one. I just wanted to see if it would be for me, but I feel like it's too warm, too brown. But then when I wear it, it also looks a little bit purple on my lips. It's just, on the one hand I feel like it's too warm, but on the other hand I feel like it's too purple. It just has a really weird undertone on my lips. I feel like on a lot of people this would be a really nice kind of mid-tone nude or just a nude, but on me this just has the wrong undertone. It just doesn't work on me. When I wear this, it just isn't flattering. I don't like it. I also don't really like this mini format. I don't know if you can see it, but here on the back you can see kind of like where this lipstick got kind of like busted, kind of like beat up because of the packaging. And I think it's because this format, it's a bit, how do I explain this? It's a bit too fragile. The lipstick is a lot thinner, so I think it's a lot more flexible. It isn't as sturdy in the packaging, so it kind of gets beat up like this, and I don't really love that. Also, when I apply it, I'm just scared that it's gonna break. So I get the idea of a mini lipstick, I like it. The idea that you can buy a color in a smaller packaging, so you don't have to pay as much when you're not gonna use it up anyway. I like that idea, but I feel like in practice, like when I look at it in a practical way, I don't love it because I'm just scared that I'm gonna break it. It's just not as sturdy. And I think I'm just gonna get rid of this color. It's just not my color. I know I'm not gonna wear it. I have enough lipsticks, and I have enough lipsticks that I feel like look good on me, and this isn't one of them. I was actually planning on just swatching everything out and then deciding, but I'm pretty sure about that MAC lipstick that I don't want to name anymore. So I have this L'Oreal lip gloss. This one is so old, but I love this color. It's so pretty. It's like this light pinky coral, and I just want something like this in my life. And this formula was also so hydrating and it smelled very nice. I really liked it, but it's just so old. But for a long time I couldn't really let go of this one. And also what's kind of sad is when I actually bought this, I wasn't that into glosses, so I never wore it a lot. But I don't know. It still smells good. It doesn't smell weird, but it's a gloss and it's like 5 years old maybe. I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable comfortable using this anymore, and then I'm not gonna reach for it. I'm probably just gonna keep it to try and find a lip product that is kind of this color and also kind of this sheer formula. So it doesn't have to be a gloss, but maybe like a shiny lipstick, something like that in this color. I would love that. So if you're watching this and you think, oh, I know something like that, please let me know. I think I'm just gonna keep it for now, but I'm not gonna use it anymore. So I'm not gonna really like count this in my collection, but I want a replacement. So I'm just gonna count this as decluttered. It pains me. It really hurts me a little bit to declutter this, but I just know I'm not gonna reach for this anymore. I just know I'm not gonna use this anymore because it's just so old. And then when I wear it, I'm kind of like thinking, does it feel weird? Does it smell weird? Is there something odd about it? Maybe it isn't good anymore. Maybe now I'm gonna get something on my lip. So yeah, it's really time to let go. I don't want to. I really don't want to, but I have to. So then this L'Oreal Le Chocolat Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick. Please stop. Can you just stop moving? So when you saw my lipstick declutter, you saw that I kept this one but wasn't sure about it because the color is something I don't really have a lot in my collection, but I kind of hate this formula. It's just so drying and so kind of sticky feeling on the lips, and it also smells so much like freshly baked brownies, and that seems fun at the start. It's like, oh, brownies, but then when you're wearing this and you want to eat something else, it's so weird. Like when you wear this and you go out to a restaurant and you have something savory, like a savory dish, imagine eating soup and then the whole time smelling freshly baked brownies. It doesn't really work. So I don't love this formula. I don't love the scent. I thought I would, but I didn't. It's just, it does stay on very well, but it's just so drying. And I did like this color. It's like quite pinky. It has a little bit of mauve in it. It's a little bit more cool toned than, for example, this pink plate one. But I just know I'm never gonna reach for it. But I wanted to keep this for the color, but I'm just not gonna grab for this one. I think I do want to see if I have a dupe for this in my collection, but probably I have. I'm gonna declutter it, but I want to see if I have something that looks like this, because I do want to wear this color, but I don't want to wear this particular lipstick. So one more lipstick that is just too old, but this was my absolute favorite, and I don't think I'm gonna find something like this again. So this is from Primark. I don't know if Primark exists in the States or anywhere outside of Europe. I think it's like a Swedish or Danish shop, and they have a lot of cheap clothing, shoes, and also homeware, and also cheap makeup. But it's like they don't have like a collection that is there for years. They change it up all the time, and this one I bought probably like 5 years ago, and they had it for some time, but then they took it out of their collection and I can't repurchase this. And what is so interesting about this, it's a cool toned kind of mauvey pink, but then it has kind of like a lilac-y sheen to it. When it dries down, it still has sort of like a sheen, but it is dried down, it is matte, but it's like the softest metallic lilac-y sheen, and I love how it looks. It looks so flattering on the lips. This is such a flattering shade on me. I love cool tones. I love how fresh it looks because of that really slight metallic sheen, but I just don't feel like I'm gonna wear this anymore because it's just too old. But I love this. But this is such a particular formula because it's not metallic, but it's also not completely matte. It dries down fully, but it has this really slight sheen, and I don't think I can find something like this anymore. I don't think something like this might exist, but this formula doesn't really have a name, and this is also such a particular shade with such a particular sheen. I don't think I will ever have a lipstick like this again, and I'm pretty sad about it, but also it's just too old and I don't grab for it anymore. I don't know when I decluttered my lip collection. Was it like 3 or 4 months ago? I haven't felt like using this one. I see it in my collection, but I just can't wear this anymore. So it's time to say goodbye. I have colors that are similar like this, but they don't have that sheen. So then we're back at MAC Pink Plate, and I think it's time to let go. It's time to say goodbye. It's just too old. It's just too dry. Right now I just love a lip color that looks a little bit more sheeny and healthy, and this isn't it, so it's just time. I'm pretty sad. Well, not sad, but I wish with some of these lip products that I could just buy a replacement and then have a completely new one and appreciate it more than I did the last time. So I'm gonna declutter all of the lip products, but probably after this video I'm just gonna like snoop around in my collection a little bit and just see if I can find some dupes that would maybe make me feel a bit less sad to let go. So let's move on to the blushes. So I have 6 blushes here in front of me. Oh, I have 1 highlighter, but wait a second. Okay, I have 5 blushes here in front of me, and some of these are really old. Some of these are really pretty old. And I also bought a lot of new blushes, a lot of really nice new blushes. So I think I'm ready to let go most of these. So this is the Essence Blush Up kind of gradient blush, and this is pretty old. It's a really like cool toned bright Barbie pink, and it's a little bit shiny. I think it has a little bit of a sheen. For a while there I basically only had blushes like this, and then I felt like I don't need so many blushes that are this bright pink. Then I basically decluttered all of them, and now I don't know, I have so many nice blushes. I don't feel like I need this one. I also don't know if this is still available. It's not like bad, but I don't know, I don't think I'm really gonna reach for this. I just have so many nice blushes right now. I don't know. I don't think I have like a direct replacement, like a dupe for this, but am I gonna reach for it? Probably not. I don't feel like blushes ever swatch well. I think they always look a bit weird. It's not too pigmented. I don't know. I feel like it's time to let go. It also looks so beat up, and I feel like if I would really want a shade like this, I think I would probably buy something else and find the perfect shade and the perfect formula for me. That maybe is a little bit more sheeny, a little bit less powdery. It's hard to let go because I feel like I don't really have a shade like this in my collection right now. But also, do I really need it? It's really bright. Man, decluttering is hard today. I think I have to let go. Yes, I do. I have to let go. It's time. So then I have this Essence Bloom Baby Bloom blush. And this is a blush lighter from a quite recent limited edition. And it's kind of like a cool toned mauve one, but it has a really interesting undertone. It's kind of mauve, and it's really cool toned. When you apply it, it's kind of like a warm sheen to it. I don't know if you can kind of see that over here. It's not too cool toned, but when I tried this, I felt like it just was a little bit of a weird color on me. It looked a little bit blotchy, it looked a little bit weird, maybe was a little bit too maybe gray or something. But I think this formula looks really nice. When you look at it on my finger, it looks really smooth. It just looks like a glow and not like a glitter. Like, there's no shimmer in this one. So I think I'm gonna keep it for now, and I want to try it when I have more of a tan. So I want to try it in the summer and see if I still feel like this color is weird on me. And if then I still feel like the color is weird on me, I'm definitely gonna declutter it. I just love the idea of this one. It's so soft and it's a nice color, but even though I have a cool undertone, sometimes things that are really purple in undertone and like grayish purple don't really work on me. I'm gonna give it one more chance. Then this L'Oreal blush. For a really long time, I only used this blush. I used to be all about wearing blush, but I also wore the same blush all the time. I never switched it up, and I used this so much, and you can hardly tell. Like, there's a bit of a dip in it, but I went into this. I wore this so many times and I never hit pan. I don't know how that happened, but this is so old. And it's time to let go. It's really so old. But I did love the formula of this one, and I did love the color of this one. I thought it was really flattering. It's just a nice, like, soft rosy tone. But I feel like I have so many beautiful blushes right now, and this is not something I'm ever gonna reach for again. It's just too old. I don't know if I have like a perfect direct replacement for this one, this soft rosy tone, but I feel like after this declutter, I'm just gonna check my collection, and if I feel like I'm missing something, I might keep an eye on that. I'm not gonna buy replacements for these like right away, but if I'm really feeling like I miss something in my collection after this, I might like keep an eye out. So this is gonna go. Then I have this H&M blush. I think I bought this because Tati was raving about these H&M blushes. This isn't a formula for me. For some reason this just looked so dry and so patchy on me. It wasn't a flattering color on me. I don't love really nude blushes, and this was just looked too nude and just weird on me. I feel like on me it looks better if a blush just has a little bit more color, a little bit more peachiness or pinkiness to it. This was just too nude. I just didn't love this one. It just looks so blotchy, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Sometimes I feel like things don't work for me because I don't wear foundation, and then some things can wear differently on your skin if you just put it on your bare skin and not on foundation. So let's move on to the sleek blush. This one is called Pomegranate, and this is kind of like a warm berry shade. It's a bit shiny. It's really pretty actually, but it's quite pigmented. And I've had this for such a long time. I've had this for years, but I've never really used it. It's a really pretty color and really pretty finish. I really always loved the sleek blushes, but I feel like I'm never gonna reach for this one. I have berry blushes that I like to use more, and now that I swatch it, I'm like, it's so pretty, I'm gonna use it, but I never reach for this one. I'm never gonna use this one. I really like the idea of it, and I think if I would wear it, if I would try it, I'd probably like it, but I haven't reached for this in so many years. So yeah, it's time to let go, even though I think it's a really interesting color and finish. It still has some warmth to it, you know, and I think that doesn't always happen with blushes like these. But I don't need this one. I was so sure that I was gonna declutter this. I don't know. I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile. I know I need to declutter it, but it's so hard. I'm just gonna go on and think about it a little bit more. Otherwise, this is gonna take forever. So let's move on to some highlighters. So I bought this NYX Machinist Duo because I just thought it looked so cute. And we have two sides here. One is more of a bronzy champagne, and one is a white that has kind of like an iridescent, kind of lilac-y sheen to it. But on the face, this one looks really chunky, and this basically just looks like a bronzy, quite nice bronzy eyeshadow. So I loved how this looked, like this little duo, these two shades together, but I don't feel like it's necessary to keep these in my life. I don't like this formula at all, and this one isn't special enough. So that one is gonna go. Then we have this NYX Duochromatic highlighter, and this is in the shade Snow Rose. I just felt like this was really, really dry and just not that pigmented. It just didn't really work. Like, if I swatch it, you don't really see that. It's just too subtle. It doesn't really do anything. And if I wear a duochromatic highlighter, I want to see it on my face. And I don't think this is a good one. There is another one of this formula that I do like. It's like a lilac-y, purpley one. I'm not entirely sure what that one is called. So I don't hate this whole range, but this one didn't work out for me. I just feel like I want something a little bit more, a little bit less powdery, so this is gonna go. Then I have this LOV Lights Prismatic Luminizer. This is a sister brand of Essence and Catrice, and this is a baked highlighter from a limited edition collection. It's quite a nice formula. It's quite creamy. It's a baked highlighter, but it feels almost like a cream. But this color just isn't something I'm gonna wear because it's so cool toned. It has a really icy undertone. It's kind of lilac, and that's not what I wear anymore. Nowadays I wear peachy and pinky highlights, some champagnes, but this really, really cool toned highlight, this is Marley from a few years ago. This is not what I'm like today, what my style is today. So this is gonna go. So this one is a highlighter by Colourpop, and I hate these palettes by H&M. They are like little magnetic palettes, but the magnet is so strong, so it's hard to get things out of there. So this is the shade Made Me Do It, and this is a highlighter that is kind of like a champagne with a peachy pink undertone. I don't love this on my skin. Now that I swatch it, it looks kind of nice, but then when I apply it to my skin, it's just really subtle and really soft. And I feel like I have other highlighters in this tone that have a formula that's more my thing. In my Shop My Stash, I told you that I was a bit on the fence about it. I wasn't entirely sure, but now that I see it swatched out, I feel like maybe it looks a little bit like Nabla Privilege or like the Clinique Flower Pop highlighter. It kind of has that vibe, and or maybe it even looks like the H&M Delicate Pearl highlighter. So I think it's time to let go. I have so many pretty highlighters that I really love, and this isn't really one of them. Like in some lights when I've applied it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice. It's not like terrible, but it just doesn't do it for me. My other Colourpop highlighter in the shade here, Kitty Kitty, is just so nice. And then next to that, this one is it's just really subtle, but not in a way that I love. I don't mind a subtle highlighter, but this one just doesn't do it for me. So it's time to let go. But it's hard to give this to someone else because it doesn't have like a compact. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna at least let go of this. So I have two bronzers. One is the Dr. Hauschka bronzing powder. I don't know, I think they don't make this particular one anymore. I hit ban on this one, but this is like a really, really powdery bronzer. For a while I used this every day, but I felt like it was a bit too orange on me. It had a really particular undertone, but I feel like maybe it's more red. At the time that I wore this, when I took a picture of myself, it looked so orange, but now I'm kind of wondering if that was more like my phone than this actual bronzer. And I did like this formula, and I feel like if I would focus on this a little bit, I could use it up. So I'm probably just gonna keep it and see how I feel about it now, because maybe my idea of this one was influenced a bit too much by those pictures that I saw of me that turned out really orange. I don't know, I don't think I really looked that orange in real life. So I'm just gonna give it one more chance. Like when I look at this one, it looks cool toned. It looks like the type of bronzer that would work for me. So I'm just gonna try and use it a few more times and make up my mind. Then the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. In theory, this would be perfect for me. In practice, I hated it. So this is kind of like this baked formula, I believe. And it's supposed to be kind of like a natural glowy finish, what I really love. It's also a nice kind of light cool toned color. So when I applied it, I thought it looked so unflattering on me. It looked so blotchy. It didn't look smooth at all. I didn't see the shine. It just looked so dry on my skin. It was a bit similar to that H&M blush that I talked about. It had the same effect. It just doesn't look good on me. Also, I hate this bulky packaging. I don't understand why you would put it in a bulky packaging. Would you do that because of this? Because who uses this? I never use a brush that... What is this? This is... Who thinks of this? Who makes a special compartment that's this big in their packaging for a brush like this? I don't get it. So the bulky packaging takes up way too much space. Also, it broke, and I hate the scent. I think it's too overpowering. You open your drawer and all you can smell is that scent, even when this isn't even open. It's just too much. I don't mind a little bit of scent in a product, but this is just, I don't like it. The only thing I liked about it was the color, but that doesn't even really matter if the finish just looks so bad on my skin. So I'm not even gonna try and pass this on to someone because it's broken, and if this opens in your makeup bag or something, it's just gonna make a mess. This is a product that is so hyped, but didn't work for me. And also I paid like 20 euros for this. That's like $24. That's a lot. That's not a drugstore price. I paid a lot of money for this and I hated it. But sometimes that happens when you buy an overhyped product. It's not always gonna work for you. Then I have 3 eyeshadow palettes left that are on the chopping block. And these are all palettes that are or were really popular. And I think especially the Sultry palette is one that is still really, really popular. A lot of people love it. A lot of people that love cool tones love this one. But I even made a video about that I don't get along with this palette. I feel like the mattes are fine, but I don't have like the transition shades that I would need to make looks. Like there's this one, that's the lightest one. And then this one is like the next one that I would use in the crease. But this one already gets really, really dark. So this isn't really like a practical palette for me. Also, I didn't love the shimmers. I love the shimmers in the Norvida palette. These ones, I felt like they were a little bit too dry. But what I do love about this palette is this gray over here. And I feel that this palette is still quite relevant in the beauty space. It does keep coming back, even though they said it was limited edition. I think I'm gonna keep it for now, but just know that I don't love this one, and probably I'm gonna declutter it in the future. Maybe if I have something to replace this gray, because I don't have a lot of gray in my collection and this is a really nice one. So these two are pretty old. This isn't as old as you might maybe think. I didn't get this when it first launched. I got this much later, after I got 2 and 3, Naked 2 and 3. This is a classic, but I never used it a lot. To be honest with you, I never used this a lot. This isn't that old, but it's getting older. It definitely is. And I kind of kept it for these two mattes. These two cool toned brown mattes. I feel like it's definitely time to let go. I feel like I have cool toned browns, even though they aren't exactly the same as these. But this is kind of what I'm keeping it for, because those shimmers just aren't the best. They are fine, but they're kind of like satiny. Like if you build them up, they're fine, but nothing great. They are just satins, and I have so many beautiful shimmers, so many beautiful metallics in my collection. This just isn't it. I just feel kind of sad to declutter palettes that I paid so much money for, because all of the makeup I own, I paid for myself, with the exception of a gift here or there. I just find it really hard to let go of palettes that were pretty expensive, but when they just get too old, or you don't use them, or they just aren't great quality, it's time to let go. I don't feel like I can really give this to anyone anymore, because it's too old. Also, some of these colors, this one was really like crumbly when I tried to use it. I don't know, I was kind of keeping it for these two shades, but I don't feel like I should do that, because even though they aren't exactly the same as other cool toned browns that I have in my collection, if I'm gonna go do a cool toned brown with those other colors, you're not really gonna see the difference. So it's time to let go. So the last product for today's declutter is the Too Faced chocolate bar. This is still in the first bulky packaging. I got this quite fast after it released, so this is pretty old. This palette got me into highlighter. This shade was the first highlighter I put on my face that I could actually see, and then I was, I get it. And then I got into highlighter. So this palette has a special place in my heart, even though I never really used it a lot. I never really got into it. When I first got it, I was really like excited. Then I felt like it was too warm for me, but it isn't that warm. It is quite neutral. And then after I realized it was quite neutral, I still didn't really get into it. We have some kind of weird mattes with shimmers, and not all of these colors are really pigmented. When I use this palette, I mainly use this, and this shade, and that was like a nice look, but nothing really special. I don't know, I think it's just too old. I don't reach for it anymore. I never really reached for it. There are just a few shades that I liked, but in general this color story just didn't really speak to me. I was like, in what kind of look should I use a purple like this? Or how should I incorporate this green? I just felt like it was a little bit hard for me to come up with looks with this one, at least in the past. Now I can think of some things, but still I wouldn't go into those colors. I don't know what it is about this palette, but I never really got into it. And now I just have so many beautiful eyeshadow palettes. I feel like my eyeshadow palette collection has really become amazing. I love the eyeshadow palettes that I have, nude ones, colorful ones, and this just isn't it anymore. Yeah, I just wanted to keep it for one look that I did like once a year, but I probably shouldn't do that. I wanted to keep it for this shade, and this shade basically. But those shades aren't special enough to keep it. Like I tried to find a dupe for this one in my collection and I couldn't find like a perfect dupe, but you're probably not gonna see it on the eye. So it's time to let go. It's just too old. I never reach for it. It's just the idea that I'm getting rid of such an expensive palette. It's just hard to do, but it's time. It's about time. It's also really not relevant anymore. Palettes like these, nobody buys them anymore. Nobody wants to hear about them anymore. Everybody already had them and decluttered them. So also for my channel, it's not really relevant anymore. I feel like the Sultry is still a little bit relevant, but especially Naked One and Too Faced, the chocolate bar, that's just not gonna be something I'm ever gonna mention again in a video, and I'm just not gonna reach for them. I keep them and then I never reach for them, and that's a sign that it's time to let go. So these are the things. These two I'm gonna be keeping for sure and trying out. This Sleek blush, I think I'm gonna keep and just try it once. I just have to try it once and then decide, because I have no idea how this looks on my cheeks, and I just feel better if I try it once and then decide. There's a big chance that I'm still gonna declutter it, but I just don't feel like completely ready to let go. No. You know, no, I'm gonna let go. It's time. I'm just gonna do it. I just feel like I have things that are similar enough to this, and that are just a color that I would reach for more often. I'm just getting less into berry blushes and I'm getting more into peach and pink, and I have berry blushes, so this is gonna be it. I hope I'm not gonna like get back on this decision again. Oh wait, I'm also gonna keep this one, of course. So I'm gonna be decluttering that Sleek blush, and hopefully I'm not gonna go back on that decision. I have 3 products here in front of me that I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna declutter. Let me quickly count. I'm gonna declutter 16 products. So this was everything for my little declutter of makeup products that are on the chopping block. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. Bye.